All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, shouting out Sovereign Extracts. You can check them out for some great CBD oils, as well as a myriad of THC, CBD cartridges, some hybrid options as well. Great stuff on that end of things. But also, big shout out to USG Canada, putting out some great apparel for boxers, MMA fighters, and for fans alike. We've got a great card coming up here. It goes on the 24th. It is going down on Friday. We've got a fight between Luis Palomino and Vallie Flagg going on. We have the vacant 155-pound championship up for grabs, and that is the headline attraction for BKFC 11. And I've got Isaac on the show right now. How's your day going so far there, man?
Well, so far so good, just getting through airports and stuff, so it's all kind of nice with the whole COVID thing. All the airports are empty.
Yeah, that would be a little surreal for me, just like past instances of traveling, just, seeing fighters getting to and from. It's like oddly desolate, some of the airports, but do you have to take like a bit of a different route? Because I understand that's like a bit of a thing for some fighters as well. Like instead of taking like the one flight, for instance, they'll take like 3 different ones just as a precautionary type measure.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I just try to get there as quick as I can when I'm feeling like shit and cutting weight.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man, for sure. And I'm kind of wondering just what the general timeline for when you figured out about this fight and when it was made privy to you. Because obviously Jim Allers was initially slated for this fight, but someone in his team had some coronavirus situation there, and as a precautionary measure, he pulled out from the bout. So when did you initially kind of, gain the realization, and when were you made privy to the fact that you were going to be getting this title opportunity?
So it was exactly 3 weeks out to the day, and it was kind of we just got the call, and I jumped at the opportunity. I feel bad for Allers and his camp, and I hope everybody there is healthy. But something that obviously, if you get a title shot, you're not going to say no.
Oh, definitely not. And to that point, I'm kind of wondering, like, what your thoughts on, Palomino are stylistically. Like, are you someone who generally checks out, like, your opponent and avidly breaks down tape? Obviously, you wouldn't have been, privy to this fight in the sense of, like, a full camp's worth of study. But I guess how aware are you of the skills he brings to the table in the BKFC ring?
Pretty aware of him. I was a fan of his when he did MMA, and then I saw obviously he was in the 155-pound tournament, so it's somebody who I watched also for that, so I've seen him fight and as a fan before, and then tried to study him a little bit also, and he's good. I mean, he's a very good fighter, and he brings some tricky stuff to the table that I'm going to have to be aware of.
Yeah, and you mentioned your awareness of his MMA game there. Like, your last MMA fight was, summer of 2016 there, I was noticing, and then went through a bit of a, competitive hiatus and whatnot, and went through, certain issues in your life, which you've actively, got on top of from what I was seeing. And, I mean, now you've gone on this 3-fight winning streak. You're positioned in a championship bout here. Just all factors considered, like, how does this moment feel for you, and what have the last few years been like? Because this feels like the culmination of, a lot of work and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a culmination of living right and putting my trust in some stuff, and really pushing some skills that I knew I had that I really did not take advantage of and kind of messed up before, So this last year and a half or 2 years of doing the bare knuckle stuff has been a weird ride, but it's been really fun, and I'm excited to kind of be here. It's like this is. I said after I beat Melvin that I wanted a belt this year, and this is my shot at it. So it's, it's not like we didn't expect it. It's just it came a little bit differently than we expected.
Yeah, you describe it as a bit of a weird ride. Like, what part of it's weird? Just in the sense of, like, you didn't necessarily map out that bare knuckle was going to be part of the journey, or what part of the whole saga strikes you as strange, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't sure about the bare knuckle thing, and then I took a fight and I loved it. But then the fight that I took, we didn't get paid on it. Wasn't sure what the landscape was going to look like, and then obviously COVID happened. So wasn't sure what was going to happen with everything once COVID, once that stuff hit. So it's just been kind of a weird ride, I think, for everybody, and especially if you're trying to do anything that involves traveling or athletics,
Yeah, because I noticed you were on that card from a different promotion there, the World Bare Knuckle fighting federation there, and a lot of controversy coming out of that. But then kind of going to the BKFC ranks shortly thereafter. So it seems like he ended up being in a much better place. And I mean, one of the leading industry kind of promotions in as far as like bare knuckle organizations. So it seems like it worked out from there, just like total quality difference.
Yeah, it did for sure. And David and Nate and all those guys have been leaps and bounds better, obviously, than the last guy. So, I'm glad that I ended up where I did.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm kind of wondering about some of the like added regulatory aspects of this fight here. Like I imagine there's going to be, a certain amount of COVID testing going on at different junctures in your trip as you get there, probably some, quarantining in the hotel and stuff like that. Are there any other aspects to how things are going on for this fight week? 'Cause I imagine it's a little far from normal, to say the least.
Nothing that I can see so far. Every fight week, I think every fight week and every fight is different. So, there hasn't been anything like super out of the normal, and I kind of try to stay ready for whatever anyway, just because, things kind of shift in a moment's notice with the fight week, and especially now with the pandemic going on,
Yeah, for sure. And to that point, like, what was your, training camp like heading into this one? Like, were there a few different like workarounds you had to do, like pivot to adjust to the circumstance, or were things largely kind of similar to, past outings?
No, it was different for sure. I wasn't able to work with my main coach as much as I'd like to, like one-on-one, just because his wife is high risk, and we didn't want to take the chance of hurting her, so I went to another gym, worked with him a little bit, and went to another gym, but, the gym that I'm at now, Power and Glory, is also, they're buddies with my head coach, so, it's kind of picking up right where I was before, just with a slightly different style of teaching,
Yeah, for sure. So is there the benefit of like getting different looks there with that then?
No, New Mexico's really, in Albuquerque, as far as the boxing, seems to be really good about a lot of people getting together and helping each other out. So I've been getting a lot of good looks the whole time, So that didn't really change for this fight, except we just didn't have as many people sparring because of the obvious.
Yeah, for sure. Safety being paramount and everything like that. I definitely understand that. But I thought to ask you about this because I've talked to other fighters who've made the transition from MMA to BKFC. It seems like more often than not, there's like a pretty smooth transition in like a seamless kind of fashion from, MMA towards the BKFC rule set. And from what I can tell, it seems like the familiarity and just the functionality with like the Greco-Roman base that you get from mixed martial arts, just like working really well in the clinch positions there for BKFC competition. But what would you personally credit to that kind of dynamic, like with MMA fighters seamlessly transitioning to BKFC? Because it seems like a pretty casual transition from what I can tell.
I think the rule sets definitely benefit somebody who likes to be in the clinch and kind of, it's not boxing, it's not MMA, it's kind of like a hybrid. And I think it really kind of benefits I think the transition is there because a lot of guys who like to grab, and so it's not pure boxing, and you can't just like sit there and or you can't not grab. You can grab dirty boxing. I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like a very key part in the progression of everything. But you're talking about like the preparations and stuff. But I mean, just with this being like a short kind of timeline here, and I was listening to an interview you had with Susan Singari, I believe it was, where it seemed like, composure and the emotional and mental game was an especially key part of this one, just with like the short turnaround. Is that like a fair characterization? And like how key is like maintaining that like optimal mindset to like taking this fight on short notice, just like not overthinking things too much, I guess?
I think it's key to any fight, and especially short notice. If your mind isn't right going into any fight, your performance is going to kind of show that. And I think that's especially the case. Knowing that you had a shorter training camp, you just have to go in with the right mindset of going to do it, and let the chips fall where they may, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. So the mental game, just a key part all around for sure. But I mean, we were talking a bit earlier about, Jim Allers and stuff like that, and I was actually talking to David Feldman a bit earlier too, and we were kind of bantering a bit about how, Jim Allers could very well be taking on the winner of this fight depending on how things kind of unfurl and stuff like that. As a competitor though, and just with the rampant uncertainty in the world at large, can you even like allow yourself to think about stuff like that? Obviously not overlooking your opponent here, but is it just like isolated to like moment to moment, day by day, just because of rampant uncertainty, or is there part of you that can think about the future and let the imagination wander a bit?
I'm not thinking about anything, honestly, except for Luis, who's right in front of me, right? Especially right now, we're 2 days out from a fight, so there's nothing but Luis in my mind and nothing about, except for what's in front of me. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and looks like it's gonna be a fast-paced fight for sure. Like, I mean, did you have to make any adjustments with like the round increments, like from MMA competition as compared to BKFC? Like, do the short increments for the rounds act in like a beneficial kind of way for the style you bring to the table?
It depends on the fight and the fighter that I'm fighting, kind of. I like to set stuff up and look for look for finishes and stuff, and I think that part of it definitely doesn't add to it. But as far as excitement and brawling, it's something that I also like to do, and that leads to these 2-minute rounds lead to a more exciting fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just like, foot on the pedal, so to say. It's just like people getting, right to it, and there's really no room for, the normative like measuring out that maybe one could do in MMA. But it seems like from what you're telling, you've managed to, bring that kind of calculated style even within the shorter increments there. But I also thought to bring this up too, as we're kind of, getting ready to wrap up here. I was noticing you reposted something from Clay Guida a little while ago, just like talking about, the Big Lebowski and stuff like that, and just, trying to be like the dude there. I mean, are you a big fan of the Big Lebowski? Does the dude abide for Isaac Vallie Flagg?
I try to be like the dude for sure. Clay's a good friend of mine, and we're there's a few of us that are big Lebowski fans. So, I'm trying more and more to be like the dude, just kind of and really just kind of abide to whatever life has in front of me.
Yeah, are you like whenever you guys? Yeah, is it like one of those dynamics? Sorry, go ahead.
It's all the airport stuff going right now.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay, man. I mean, I was actually gonna probably wrap up a bit here anyway. Like, is there anything you'd like to kind of add as a parting thought, as we're kind of putting a bow on this here?
You're breaking up real bad. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just wondering if there's anything you'd like to add as a parting thought.
Oh no, I'm just looking forward to Friday night getting the belt wrapped on my waist. That's all, man. Thank you for having me on, but everything is 100% focused on the fight right now.
Absolutely. I can sense the laser focus from talking to you here, and I think people are really going to enjoy this fight. We've got Luis Palomino taking on Isaac Vallie Flagg in the main event of BKFC 11. It's for that vacant 155-pound championship, and it goes this Friday on July the 24th. Thanks for the time there, Isaac. Best of luck with the remaining part of, your journey getting towards the venue and everything like that, and yeah, just you enjoy the rest of your night, man.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. You too, and thanks for having me on.